So, are you ready for another helping of Punky Power? Well, if you are, good. If not, you're getting some anyway. Here's my ranking of my favorite episodes of the third season of Punky Brewster right now. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings my fellow YouTubers and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to y'all as the Big D. So this time around I bring to you another ranking. This time it's going to be on my favorite episodes of the third season of Punky Brewster, which came out in syndication in 1987 after a one-year absence since NBC had dropped the series. And even though the anime series had just gotten canned that same year, but Punky Power resurfaced in syndication where other shows had been sent. Recently, Charles in Charge and Silver Spoons, which that happened to have been canceled that year, but Charles in Charge returned it earlier that year, so it proved to be a ring success. And Webster, which was also dropped from network television that same year, re-emerged in syndication as well, which meant that those two huge shows were teamed up with the other popular syndicated comedy, that being Small Wonder. But anyway, Soleil Moon Frye is back as a title character, although we see her with different hairstyle, not the signature pigtails like we saw in the first two seasons. Along with George Gaines as Henry Warmond, Susie Garrett as Mae Johnson, and Sherry Johnson as, well, Cherry Johnson. Anyway, the third season is not too bad. It does have some fun moments and what have you for most part. So, before I get into this list, I've listed 12 of the 22 episodes produced and aired of this. Now, first off, I'm going to give honorable mentions to Punky's Big Story, Divorce Anderson Style, which unfortunately was the only episode in this season we saw Alan Anderson, played by Casey Ellenson, who unfortunately was now Splitsville, because soon after that he would go on to play Wesley Owen's friend, Miles, I think that's his name, on Mr. Belvedere. Even though he was doing it even when Punky Brewster was big at the time. And let's see. And Unhooking Henry. Those are pretty good episodes, but they just didn't have enough potential to make the list. So I picked 12 episodes. So I hope you are ready, because here we go. 12. Number 12 is Tons of Fun. This was the third episode. It's not too bad of an episode. Punky gets a visit from her cousin, who is kind of fat and what have you, but they try to do her best to lay off the eating, but, well, she can't actually help it. But they try to make her get exercise and all that jazz just to get to being a little more thinner and what have you. But anyway, this episode isn't too bad, and excuse me, the girl who plays Punky's cousin in this episode's not too bad either. It does have a few funny moments and what have you, but that's about all I can say. This is a pretty good episode, though. Number 11 is Remember When. Now, this was kind of more of a looking back on previous episodes from the first couple of seasons. Now, although I think this was originally to be produced during the fourth season, which would come out early spring of the following year. Yeah, it was about early spring. Well, when there's a power outage going on around Henry's apartment, well, he and along with Punky and Cherry and Margot, who of course once again played by Amy Foster, and they are just talking and remembering back some of the good moments they had. It's not bad of an episode. Sometimes recapped episodes is meh, okay, but this one, I will say, is factually pretty good and what have you. Number 10 is Open Door, Broken Heart, Part 1. Now, this would actually be the last ever story to have more than one part. Now, apparently, well, Punky and her friends are about to do some stuff, but Cherry unfortunately leaves the door open, which eventually makes Brandon run out and disappear. Punky's not too thrilled and what have you. She's heard that her old friend of a dog has left. And unfortunately, as it turns out, he's now in the hands of this kid. I forgot his name though, but I do know he's the kid who work with that remote-controlled lawnmower in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah. And also, the woman who played Kevin Arnold's mother on The Wonder Years is in this episode, and the same with the second part. But boy, it's really sad, especially when Punky's asking, "Where are you?" Yeah, being more worried about Brandon you can ever imagine. Brandon's looking out to the boy's window. Yep. That will actually go on to this second part, which we'll see where that winds up in a little bit. This is still a good episode nonetheless. 9. Number 9 is Reading, Writing, and Rock and Roll. Now, this was the first episode of the third season. This also was the first episode to introduce us to a new character, Spud McKenzie. Or no, wait a minute, that wasn't his last name, not Spud McKenzie. That was the name of that dog. Whoops, my mistake. I got that wrong, but I humbly apologize. I hope you will forgive me, because I am kind of a joker at times. But anyway, Brent Chalem plays the character. Unfortunately, this kid died a few years later of pneumonia. Yeah, pretty young though. But anyway, Punky isn't doing her duty of reading so she could get a book report in or something like that, and won't be able to go to a concert that she and her friends were gonna go, which of course features the R&B sibling act, The Barge. I'm sure a lot of you 80s kids remember that group. You might know them best by their song Rhythm of the Night, which was featured in the cult classic movie The Last Dragon. And of course that song was written by one of my favorite songwriters, Miss Diane Warren. But anyway, Henry comes along and convinces them to come to his place and, well, convince Punky to read and what have you. Yeah. Also, Danny Wells is in this episode. Now Wells did lots of other shows, including The Jeffersons, and he's been on Silver Spoons. He's been on Small Wonder, and he's been on lots of other shows. And of course, well, a couple of years later, he'd be more well known as Luigi on the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. He played the group's manager or something. Yeah. But anyway, I think Reading, Writing, and Rock and Roll, it's not too bad of an episode. It's pretty cool. 8. Number 8 is Open Door, Broken Heart, Part 2. Yeah, now in continuing where the first part left off, Punky's getting more and more worried about what's happened to Brandon. Also, the kid, the young boy who finds Brandon, is planning to take him in, much to the disapproval of his mother and what have you, but Well, yeah, but Henry and the others try to cheer Punky up and what have you, even when Cherry tries to surprise her with a puppy that actually looked like Brandon from day one, or something like that. But even so, in the end, Punky does get Brandon back as the boy who found him brings him back to her, and she gives him the puppy. Yep. This is a pretty good episode. It's a good one. Still kind of heartbroken from the beginning, but it gets a happy ending though. 7. Number 7 is the anniversary. Now, this is the 15th episode. This one's kind of a very special episode. Henry has bought some tickets to the circus, which is scheduled for May 9th. But unfortunately, Cherry starts acting strange and says she can't go. So Punky remembers that her diary says that Cherry acted the same way the previous year. So she decides to follow her and discovers that May 9th is the anniversary her parents were killed in a car accident. So she's still having problems coping with the tragedy, and she feels guilty about it, thinking that the accident was her fault because they were on their way to pick her up from school on that day. Well, Betty explains to Punky that Cherry never talked about her mom and dad, not even to herself, and has never been to the cemetery where her parents were buried. Well, apparently, Punky takes her to the cemetery and, well, managed to get Cherry the feeling better and what have you. Now, Betty comes around the end and she kind of has a voice of what have you. I think it was a caretaker or something, and she gets swooped and rushes out, and that was the end of that episode. Oh boy, that was a pretty good episode though. 6. Number 6 is this Spuds For You. Now, this episode, let me see here, is the 18th episode. The final appearance of Spud, who I actually now found out, I forgot what, I made a mistake on his name earlier. So, I actually learned Spud's his nickname. His real name is Farley Bludner. Well, apparently, Spud tries hard to get Punky to ask him to the Sadie Hawkins Day dance, but to no avails. He convinces Punky that he has a friend named Farley that can get her tickets to any concert. Takes a bait and promises a date with Farley, who happens to be, you got it, Spud, his real name. That was the one time when I found out his actual real name. So apparently Punky visits him and tells him the deal is off. But after she gets there, he walks onto the outside window ledge and threatens to jump unless she agrees to the date. So Punky tries to get him, and boy, she ends up in the same situation. Oh boy. Yeah, apparently they were in a real pickle until the fire department comes along. And, well, Spud confesses that he's, well, head over heels for Punky and what have you. Yeah, sorry this would be a little bit of a slight spoiler, so I humbly apologize, and I'll be giving some spoilers and what have you. Even so, this Spuds For You is absolutely a crazy episode. You know what I'm saying. 5. Number 5 is Help Wanted. Now, this episode was episode number 20, was it? Excuse me, yes. After Henry's studio gets bought by a major photography studio, he called it quits. Well, this was in the previous episode, So Long Studio. He manages to become a bit of a cook and what have you, and open a little restaurant in the Midtown Mall called Punky's Place. Now, in this episode, when one of his workers is humiliated and what have you by a little kid, well, apparently he quit, and well, he can't seem to find much help now. But Punky has a plan, since Henry didn't have enough money to send her to camp. But anyway, she decides to pose as someone looking for work and what have you. So once Punky's dressed up in a kind of a kiddish waitress outfit, the fun begins. Oh boy, she's causing all sorts of, I don't know, even a whole bunch of problems. Yeah, drawing a meal to someone, trying to get someone to a table and all that jazz, boy, makes a wreck of everything. Boy, and soon everybody's applying, boy. Punky's feeling a little embarrassed a bit. Oh boy, it's absolutely funny. But Henry was not impressed. He's awful tore up by this. Well, so apparently he's letting her go. Soon, Betty's really upset about this too. She's trying to get them two to work it out together. And in the end, Henry and Punky settle the differences in Wavy and decide to give her a second chance. Yes. Absolutely, a real good episode. I absolutely do really love Help Wyatt. It's pretty funny. Number 4 is Tangled Web. Now, this is episode number 16. And I gotta say, this was pretty good. Punky's really wanted to see this movie called Slime Wars from Space. But Henry doesn't want her to because it's rated R. Cherry and Margot have already seen it, but Punky would do anything to see it. So, with a little help from even Margot, Punky decides to go in disguise, dressed like an old lady to see the movie, and after faking a sickness at school. Well, she managed to get through to the guy at the ticket counter. While not too far away, Henry is working with this here composer named Suckstein. That's his last name, who is played by funny guy Alan Seuss, who I know him from Rowan Martin's Laugh-In. I almost didn't notice it was him because I didn't watch Laugh-In until maybe a few years after I saw this episode. But even so, it was pretty funny. But in the beginning of the second act, Punky gets drowned by the owner of the theater, or not sure. And the guy who runs the ticket counter is just saying that's saw what he saw. That's LA, but just Punky's trying to get the guy his job back after he gets fired. But if that wasn't enough, Henry has to check on Punky back at home. When he returns, she's not there. And Betty's there as well. Excuse me. So Cherry comes along and finds out what's going on. And apparently, as Henry tries to call the police, Cherry's shocked to learn about this. She thought, but Betty says, freeze! Like, makes Henry hang up the phone and says, we got ourselves a key witness. Yes. And so Henry wants to know the truth. And asks, did Punky go see that movie? Yep. Says what she did with his sons, and well, Cherry had to get punished too. Later on that day, Punky returned home. Henry was there. So Henry had to go from one little white lie to another one, another, and another, and another, and another. Oh, crud. Until she spills the truth. So he had told her that she do extra work and what have you to pay back for him on missing on the account of the Suckstein account. Yeah. And helping out in the theater as well, not just at Henry's studio. But anyway, yeah. This episode was kind of a tangled web for Punky. Little joke there. But still, it's a good episode. 3. Number 3 is the Metamorphosis. Episode number 11. Now, Punky's trying real hard to tell that something's occurring with her to Henry. Says she's developing, getting breast, boobs, as she says. Oh my gosh, that shocked Henry big time. And so he explains it to Babe, who soon later explains to Punky, Cherry, and Margot. So, and apparently Cherry has already got herself one of those exercise things, little squeeze things, because that could help increase the bust, or something like that. Yeah. So apparently soon Henry's kind of feeling a little, I don't know, and he takes Punky to this here. I'm gonna hate myself for saying this. Lingerie store to find her in what they call an over-the-shoulder boulder holder. Yeah, I like that. That was a real good joke there. Over-the-shoulder boulder holder. Oh no, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm getting carried away. My bad. But apparently Punky just doesn't want to. But soon in the end, she manages to get it. Even so, I think this would be perfect for any young girl to check out if they're developing. But I'm sorry, I was only trying to say, but don't encourage them. But, no. I'm sorry, I'm not getting the right words to come out, so my apologies, folks, if I didn't get the right words out. The Metamorphosis is a good episode, though. 2. Number 2 is My Fair Punky. Episode number 14. A take on My Fair Lady. Well, Henry's about to get a big job in photographing this rich boy's birthday party. Let's see, I'm not sure it's his butler or chauffeur. I think it's his chauffeur, I believe. Yes, and, well, man, just to do pretty well, but kind of has little troubles, but, Punky needs help in trying to act like a rich person, so Margot helps out and what have you. So, shows him how to say like a rich person. I mean, well, Cherry had to learn even though she's not going. They sit down, cross their legs, and cross their arms. Punky's just like, I feel like a Muppet. Cherry's like, you are looking a little green. Then Margot gets them to walk, straight with a glass of tea in each hand. Oh, wow. Crazy. Note to self, don't try this at home and don't get your parents' permission. Thank you for your understanding. But anyway, Boy, Punky comes along. Well, she's just a little, I don't know. Well, trying to get with these other kids. And first she encounters this one dude who asks her for Shirley Temple. But she says, no, Punky Brewster. And the kid just laughs and leaves. And apparently, let's see, Punky tries a little something this little red-haired girl's trying. It's like, gee, this black jelly sure is salty. And it's like, that's not jelly, it's caviar. Caviar is like, fish eggs. Boy, Punky's in shock. Almost looks like she went pale or something like that. Or something. No, probably not. Yes. Don't you like it? The girl asks, and it's like, it's terrific. I'll take some home. They got any fishy bags? Oh boy, crazy. Well, and soon the boy, who just didn't have enough time to talk to Punky, even after talking very at home, well, isn't too thrilled with the way she's acting, so they decide to have a little fun with all the turtles around, his pond, since Punky showed off her pet turtle. And it made the party even more better, and Henry was enjoying this. All the boys' rich friends were really enjoying this. I have to admit, my favorite Punky is definitely a real good story and what have you. But how did that turn out? Well, with that, I'll let you watch the episode. Okay, it's still good. Number 1 is Punky's Porker. Now, this is episode 70. In this episode, I have watched more than any other episode of this season. I absolutely love this. As Henry's doing his work in the studio, Punky sees, in the center of the Midtown Mall, right across from Moramon's, a display for Jimmy John pork products. But what's Punky sees is something that's destined to be pork product. A big old pig, whom she calls Pinky. She's starting to be friends, but Jimmy John's not too thrilled. I like Jimmy John because he's played by James Hampton. Of course, a lot of y'all know him. Most of y'all know him from programs like The Doris Day Show, F Troop. He was also Scott Howard's dad in Teen Wolf, and he was also in Teen Wolf 2. He also appeared in the Police Academy Assignment Miami Beach movie, where he played the mayor of Miami. Of course, George Gaines was in that as well, because he returned as the commandant after he has appeared in all the other Police Academy movies. Well, apparently, Punky's not too thrilled with Pinky being butchered and what have you, so she devises a little plan. So, a la Charlotte's Web, except without leaving words in a web like some pig, terrific, radiant, or humble, she manages to break Pinky free and save her from being slaughtered. With the help of Cherry and Margot. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. And so they're wondering what Punky's plan's about, why he brought black clothes for this little event. And she says, we gotta help the pig. Margot's like, are you talking about Emma Blonsky? And no, I'm talking about a real pig. And Cherry's just like, oh, Sharon Fruscos. She's like, Punky's is not too thrilled with that. It's like, no, an actual oink oink. Both girls say Tammy Tish, and Punky's devastated, and she's like, pay attention. It's a 400-pound animal with four legs and a curly tail. And Marl's like, but that's a pig. Of course it is, duh. This has so many jokes. I bet I don't give all this episode away, because I love this episode. So they eventually get, Pinky free. And hides her unbeknownst to Henry until the next morning. Boy, he's upset. He explains that to Punky that she can't save all the pigs in the world. Just doesn't want to see the sight of Pinky getting killed. So Jimmy John comes to take her, but soon Punky tries to stop him and what have you, but Henry had an idea and tell him that Pinky could be a spokespig. Excuse me again. Sorry, talking makes me get yeah. Anyway, yeah, can help with his commercials. And so that goes fine until the ending, but the last bit. But I'm not gonna tell you that though. Watch the episode and you'll see what I mean. Punky's Porker, that's a classic in my book. And that's also my top favorite episode of the 3rd season of Punky Brewster. Now tell me, what is your favorite episode of the 3rd season of Punky Brewster? Please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button below and subscribe to my channel as well and be a part of the Big D Nation. I'm happy to report that I'm now up to 214 subscribers. That's now my newest high. Very, very good. Very good. Anyway, join me again next time when I do my ranking of the 4th and final season of Punky Brewster. Now, if you liked what you saw, check out these other videos. In the upper left-hand corner is my TV log of Punky Brewster, which I did last year. The upper right-hand corner is my ranking of the 1st season, and the bottom left-hand corner is my ranking of the 2nd season. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button with my face on it that you can use to subscribe. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya!